Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us once again right here on the Global Underwater Explorers YouTube channel. My name is Nico Lira, one of the hosts here on the channel, and I am joined, as always, by the rock star, as you can see right here over to my left, Miss M2
Hey,
himself,
Nico.
Michael Menduno. Hello, M2. How you doing,
Hey,
mate?
I'm doing great today. How about yourself?
I am doing very good. Hoarse voice and all. It's a good time to be alive, and I'm hopefully going to do some diving very soon, which I'm excited about.
Oh, yeah,
Finally.
that sounds great.
So we are back once again here on the channel. Again, if you're new to the channel, please do like the video, share the video with anyone who you think may be interested. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and tickle the notification bell so you get alerted to whenever Global Underwater Explorers post a new video. But for those of you who watch regularly, you know why we're here. We are here to have a catch up on the latest and greatest in worldwide international scuba news. Michael Menduno, take it away.
Yeah, so we'll start out. I have some questions for you.
Of course.
So, number one, what is the cave that has occupied the attention of some of the top cave explorers for the last 30 years or more?
I'm going to go with... I have a feeling it's got to be something in Mexico, doesn't it? Or maybe Florida. Maybe Florida. Let's go with Ginny Springs, Florida.
That's a good one, but wrong
Fine.
answer. Let me give you another hint. It's one of the deepest caves in the world, and in fact, the ninth deepest cave in the Western Hemisphere. It is 1,516 60 meters from, or about close to a mile, from the highest entrance to the lowest part in the cave.
So you say that's a clue, but my cave knowledge isn't deep enough to take that as a clue. So if it's not Florida, I'm going to go with Mexico. How about Cenote dos Ojos? I believe that's supposed to be quite big.
That's certainly one that is occupied. That's a good guess. It's occupied people, but as you know, Mexico caves just aren't that deep, actually.
Right.
The blue Hoyo Negro, the black hole, I think that's about 70 meters or something. But other than that, yeah, right. So last hint, and then we'll move on. This is a long cave. This could be a Dos Ojos. It's basically about 55 miles long and it has 25 entrances.
Oh, Jesus. Dude, I don't know. Ben's Cave in Grand Bahama?
We will come back and revisit this, and I will tell you about it. It's our lead story, so we'll
cool. So no,
no, that wasn't it. Yeah, right. We have some great stuff in this issue. I think some really fun stuff. So we'll come back to our lead story, but our next story is how deep is your library? Tech diving depends. You got to have a good body of knowledge to be a tech diver, and that knowledge has got to be current. So we decided that the question was, so what book should a respectable tech diver have in her library? So we turned to Dan's risk mitigation coordinator and cave diver, Christine Tamburi, who's put together this great piece, How Deep is Your Library? And we go through the books that everybody should have. So, and I can imagine you could guess a few of those books, no doubt.
I mean, there's going to be something from Shaq Exley in there, surely.
Absolutely, got to have a Shaq book. Yeah. She's actually got it organized by categories, so it's
of course she does.
Cool.
Of course she does.
Yeah. I mean, everybody will have a U.S. Navy manual. That's a NOAA manual. The Silent World, Jacques Cousteau, that's a given, right? Or maybe Hans Haas, Men Under the Sea. I don't know why he left out Dottie, but anyway, so that's some of it, and then we go through some of the older books, the Ultimate Wreck Diving Guide, the Gary Gentile, or Mixed Gas Diving by Brett Gillum and Tom Mount from back in the day. The Fundamentals of Good Diving from Jared.
Hey, shameless plug.
And then we got some wild stuff. O2 Hackers Companion Guide. That's a cult classic. Oxygen in the Diver by Kenneth Donaldson, Buellman. I mean, we just go through categories of things, including some modern books like Into the Planet with Jill Heinert, the Thai Cave Rescue books. There are a series of those. So it's really a nice piece. Oh, and then for the super geeks, she gets into proceedings like techniques to dive deeper than 1,500 feet. That's a whole symposium on that, or hydrogen as a diving gas.
She's gone full on Inception here. It's like a niche within a niche within a niche.
The diving computer workshop, the first UHMS symposium, or maybe it was AAUS on dive computers back in the 80s, because they were a new technology then. So it's really a good piece, and people will be able to compare what they got with what they might want to get. So I'm happy with that one. Yeah. And we do have some checkbooks, obviously.
Of course.
Our next story is a close calls. It's titled, the title gives it away, I ripped my dry suit a kilometer back in the cave. Dry suit rips could be a life-threatening problem if you're in very cold water. It's certainly something people think about, rarely train for, right? Most classes don't have you flooding your dry suit to see what'll happen. Nope. And Ping hadn't trained. Ping hadn't trained for it. He's a Chinese photographer here in the States. This happened at Ginny Springs, so the water was not too bad. I mean, it's 21 degrees C, 70 degrees. So 3-hour dive in that kind of water can get a little chilly, but probably not life-threatening. So it's really an interesting story. And with it, we've paired a close call survey just to reach out and see who's had close calls and how they've dealt with them and stuff. So really good piece. Following that line, we move on to human factors and Gareth Locke, our human factors coach. And he's got a piece called Errors in Diving Are Useful for Learning, but Human Error, Not So Much. He gets into our whole way of how we look at incidents. You know, just dismissing an incident as like diver error doesn't really tell you anything about what happened or what was in the diver's mind. So
that's Gareth, not nuanced enough.
Right, exactly. So Gareth gets into the type of errors that we make as divers and can make, and violations as well, where we intentionally violate some rule, and then looks at the system in which they operate, with the idea of really being able to learn from incidents. That's kind of the bottom line, right?
Right.
So that happens. Next, we have a little treat. People, well, certainly our GUE listeners will know that Tech 1 is probably one of the more rigorous GUE classes. You can think of it as the gateway drug in the tech diving. And we have
the marijuana of GUE.
You want to get high?
Yeah, right. You get in and you get hooked.
There's some good.
That's right. That's the helium, man. You know what I mean, right? So our next gen scholar, Annika, has written a great piece about her experience just completing her Tech 1 fairly recently. Kind of talks about the course and all that for people who are interested. And then we have Guy Shockey, who's of course IT instructor trainer for GUE, and he talks about prepping for Tech 1. If you're interested in taking it, the kinds of things you should have prepared before taking the class. So it's a little pre-class homework, right?
Just a quick one while we're on the topic of Annika. Given that she's just talking about Tech 1, the next vlog that Annika is doing will be a Tech 1 vlog, and that should be coming out in May. So stay tuned to the channel for that.
Great. We can backlink it to the article maybe once it comes out. So
I'll send it to you.
And then a couple more things, and then we'll go to our lead story. We have a great piece on a trip report, really, on the wreck of the Salem Express. This is a famous wreck in the Red Sea. You've been there, Nico. And it's kind of a controversial wreck dive because more than 400 people lost their life when the ship went down in a storm. So it's a grave, but people still dive on it. There are areas of the wreck that you're not supposed to penetrate where people have died. And so we have a report on this. And a last news item I'd like to mention, Ghost Diving USA. There's a new branch now, Ghost Diving USA, that was just formed recently, and we have a story about that. Pascal Van Erp, who founded Ghost Diving globally, is out here in California right now, and they had a big to-do and out clearing some nets, and so we have a little piece on that. So
nice. Always good to hear that.
Yeah, good community thing. So, and a good way to conserve our oceans, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's get to our lead story. So, what cave
Yes.
was I talking about? The deepest one of
South
the deepest
Africa,
in
South
the
Africa,
world?
South Africa. I just thought of it. Bushman.
Bushman's got that would actually be a good one. That's a famous deep cave. Nuno Gomes has a record there. Of course, Dave Shaw died there, unfortunately. So it's a very well-known cave. Shaq Exley died there. But that's not the cave. We are talking about Sistema Huautla in the Oaxaca area of southern Mexico. It's a cave that Bill Stone and his group have been exploring for decades, and people continue to do it. This was a recent expedition that just happened last month. Our art director, S.J. Bennett, and John Kieran were down there with a group of explorers, and their mission was to find an alternative route to Sump 9. So remember, the Sump 9 means you're caving and diving and caving and diving 9 times to get to the end.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. John has kept a log of this month-long expedition. We have some fantastic photos from SJ, and so people have heard of this cave.
Beautiful.
Yeah, few people have been to this cave, though many have heard of it just because it's been very famous. Bill Stone is now working next door at Sistema Chevet, it's pronounced, I think, and that's also a super deep cave. I think Bill said to get out from the deepest place is like a 7-day trek to get out from the deepest place to the surface. So these caves are just incredible, this whole system down there in Mexico. So that's our lead this month, and excited about it.
Yeah, very cool. Now, just quickly, to dive Sistema Huautla, what level do you need to be?
Well, they're down there. You need to have some caving skills, because to get to water, you have to rappel and climb and hike.
Proper spelunking.
People are doing. I mean, you need to be a cave diver. They were diving a combination of rebreathers and open circuit down there. So, but certainly cave trained. Yeah, and it was pretty rigorous and remote, which is discussed in the dive log. So so it really takes people into like a day-by-day experience of what it's like to be on one of these expeditions. So it's pretty cool.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Proper Final Frontier stuff. Love that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
So the issue will be out this Thursday, May 5th. Yep.
And where can people find it?
Where can people find it? GUE.com/blog or InDepth.blog. And you'll find it there. Good. And we'll be live on Thursday.
There you go, guys. That's the roundup of this month's scuba news. So, yeah, InDepth.blog or GUE.com/blog. You get free, cannot stress this enough, it is free content delivered to you by a team of really notable scuba journalists, including the man here to my left, who have been in the industry doing this for a very long time. So this is not crappy content. This is high quality content. You can subscribe, get the notifications pushed to you, and you can always tune in right here to the channel to get a little teaser / insight to see what's coming in the next issue. So yeah, if you like the video, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll get it every time coming into your inbox, just like the InDepth newsletter. I've rambled on long enough. I'm Nico Luro. He's Michael Menduno. Thank you for joining us on the latest edition of InDepth, and we will see you all very soon.
Thanks, everybody.